day I chose not to let anything win but my drive to get me to the top.
Frank Lee made the beat.
What it do, KTTV? This is KT, and I'm coming at you live with another episode of the Daily K Podcast. And on today's episode, we have financial legacy building strategist, Miss Tana Morehead. How you doing today, Miss Morehead?
I am doing fabulous. I'm on with you, so it makes it really special. I was looking forward to this.
Hey, me too. That's why I wanted to say thank you for taking some time out as we talk about, just some real important things from business leader development to insurance, which is very important.
To say the least.
And so before we get started, I just want to check in with you and see how have you been doing during the pandemic and how are you staying safe?
Woo! So I have been doing good during the pandemic. Our company actually, when it first started, the first week we got the news that there was going to be like a shut-in, lockdown, whatever we want to quarantine, whatever we want to call it. Our company just really was proactive. I mean, because we transitioned from being in the office and in the field to home. So we implemented the Zoom strategy, and some of us were, first time users, and then some had been using before. So I think everybody got acclimated pretty quickly. And, from there, we've been hosting our meetings and trainings on Zoom. How I've been staying safe is just really, complying with the guidelines, although I hate wearing the mask. It's a challenge, but, I do keep in mind when I go out, and to run errands or grocery stores or whatever, that I have my mask on. Definitely sanitize my hands, before, after, getting in and out of my car. I've always been that type of person to wash my hands and things like that. So just keeping those little sanitation tips in mind, because that's critical. Just, sanitizing, when you've been out and about, or just even around your house, just keeping your hands washed and, don't pick your nose. I'm just kidding. But
seriously, keep your hands out your face.
Exactly. But just complying with the guidelines of just, cleanliness, if I may say.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. And so as we get into things, I think about the work that you do with business and coaching and development. Yeah. And so I know, but can you give us a little bit of background on you and how did you even get into that arena?
Oh, wow. It was a journey, to be totally honest. I don't know if you have somebody in your family like how I was. I always took opportunities to learn about different things. So that transcended into my professional life. So, when I was in high school, I was a part of a program that was a vocational program. It was called Office Education. And that's where you went to school half a day and then you worked the other half. So at that time, I was able to work for Baylor College of Medicine in the healthcare industry and healthcare administration. Learned a lot. And so my first job actually was a real job. Let me say a real job was working at Kelsey-Seybold Clinic. So I worked there for 5 years. Grew to the administration division. And so I kind of felt like I was at a plateau then. I got into a multi-level marketing business, and so was doing really good in that. And I thought, wow, this is something I would really love to do, have more freedom of my time, be able to meet and network with people and so forth. So that was really exciting. So I left Kelsey-Seybold and began to work on this venture for about an hour. I mean, not an hour, for a couple of years. And things went great until, life happened. So I ended up having to go back into the workforce. And the first opportunity that came up for that was criminal justice. It's like, this is interesting. I'd like to probably study legal. So went through, different industries, legal, became a paralegal, and got laid off. Because at that time I was able to secure a job with an oil and gas company, and after a few years, they were acquired. So I kind of still was searching, and around during that time, that's kind of where I was feeling more of a pull to be a business owner, but I really didn't know what all that looked like. So, I started out with Mary Kay and learned, the ropes through that. Still on a search and a quest. And so finally, I ended up just considering going back to school for what I loved, had wanted to do since high school, and that was broadcasting, radio broadcasting. And so I took a job as an account executive for a national advertising company, and did that. I enjoyed that. That did allow me to, engage with business owners and prospect and help them, with advertising opportunities and so forth. But I kept running into this wall of where business owners were like, I don't have the budget to advertise. And I'm like, well, how can you not advertise? You have to have a budget. So I started looking for solutions for them, and trying to figure out ways that I could help them help me. And so I came across another opportunity with an organization that was an affiliate with the Small Business Administration. And at that time, this organization was taking on individuals who wanted to be groomed as a business consultant. And I took the opportunity, and my area was, marketing, advertising. And so, from there, I learned the ropes of, how to help business get started, how to establish themselves, as a legal entity, and, the Dun and Bradstreets, the, EIN numbers, and the whole gamut of structure, building infrastructure. And also, the most important thing was to help them I learned how to help them get funding, working capital, business loans. And so that was a sweet, to me, that's like, that's the solution there, to help with the marketing budget, to help with payroll, to help with buying equipment, the whole thing. So I started that whole journey just learning the different aspects of what the operations needed to look like for a business owner to be successful in their business. And so fast forwarding to now, in between then and now, I also helped businesses and explored a whole nother realm of business ownership and opportunity. And that's some businesses being able to work in the government space, working with government agencies, especially if they had a service or a product they could sell to the government. So I help business owners with getting certifications in place, so that they could, be eligible to bid on certain contracts and so forth. So fast forwarding, I'm in financial services, have expanded my service in that regard. So I'm helping business owners protect their business assets. So after you start and you build all of that, or even if you're starting, you want to have in your plan protection, business asset protection, and also protection for the owner, just as you would, the head of household in the family, because the business owner is the rainmaker, and we want that person to always be essential to the business. Otherwise, the business does not perform. And so as, all of your key persons as well, that helps the business thrive. So that's the space. And I know that was a whole loaded answer. But hopefully that gave you some insight on my background.
And so, as we look at leaders and business owners that are looking to come out of the pandemic better, and you're coaching these business owners, what are some of the main points that you say when they come to you, like from the door?
So the main points are the foundation of starting a business is very critical because it is where you end up. I mean, it's like the telltale of how you end up. So plan would be the tips of I would share with a business owner. You have to know what your feasibility is, your market, your target audience, which market is your target audience. You have to know your pricing, and make sure that you have the proper structure as well, the legal structure. Have you a team? That's the other thing. A team. You need a team of professionals that help you grow your business. It is a nuance to us as business owners to wear many hats. I mean, sometimes we have to,
Hmm.
but as you are budding, then you should have, you need an attorney on hand, not to say that you have to retain them, but you need to at least build a relationship with a business law attorney. You need an accountant, CPA, individual help you with your finances and to help you put in place or identify the right tax structure for your business. You need an insurance person. You need an insurance professional, one for commercial insurance, and then you need a financial advisor, one that would help you with the insurance from that aspect, and help you with financial planning, and then protecting the human capital within the business. That's important. Um, those are the four main, people who are instrumental in your business, just irregardless. Um, all others are, your marketing person to help you marketing, your business development, those individuals. But those four that I named are critical that you have to identify.
They're very necessary information right there.
Very necessary, yes.
Yes, yes. And so now, and thinking about myself as an entrepreneur, I'm still working. So then all my insurance, things like that are still covered at work. But
Okay.
I think about my friends who they are full entrepreneurs, and then you think about the policies, the insurance that they need to have, just everything to set themselves up. So, in
Right.
thinking of those entrepreneurs, what are some of the policies that are important for them to have? And then, how do you have those conversations with regards to some things such as life insurance or something?
Well, generally, my approach is one is helping a business owner identify the value of life insurance. Traditionally, when we say life insurance, we all think about death. We think about elderly or older people, like that's a product that's not dealt with until you're older and you're on your way out. But I like to challenge people to think about insurance as an asset, not what it is, but what it does. Because there's so many benefits to having life insurance. If you think about the term, it's called life insurance, which means you can use it for your life. There is, I think, an arena of of I'm getting lost in my thoughts here because I'm thinking too fast. But there is an area of information that could help people understand basically what how life insurance could benefit them. And with my company, we do workshops, we do seminars where clients can attend and be educated on the different types of products that we have. What I like to share with business owners is that, one, and this is applicable or applicable to families as well. If you are a homeowner, you're the breadwinner of the home, or you're the rainmaker of your business. If you think about if you were no longer part of the equation, what happens to everything else that falls underneath there? So ideally, we want to protect the income. So that's what insurance comes into play. In your absence, then that financial product can be the solution to not losing a house if you were out of the equation, or losing a car, or your children not being able to go to college because you're no longer in the equation. From a business standpoint, we're looking at, employees no longer being a part of the business dissolving, or the business being in an estate, and the monies are tied up, and your family can't even, get the benefit out of it to continue on. So that's that's something very valuable to think about. Using life insurance as your own beneficiary, what we like to call living benefits, is there is, financial products that allow you to enjoy the benefits of cash value in the policy. And that could be, if you're a parent, or if you're a homeowner, you can, and you have, of course, children, that allows you to be able to use that reserve of money for college, or a reserve of money for a wedding, or a reserve of money for, to pay a down payment on a house, a car, whatever. And that's the aspect where I like to educate people on, so that they understand the value of, having that type of policy. We do have a program for business owners. Well, it's not a program, but it's a concept for business owner for, business reserves. It's a beautiful thing, and I love this. It's beautiful when a business has a policy for the business owner, and there is, what we call the business reserves, business capital reserves, and that is, a permanent policy having the benefit of cash value in it. And that supports the growth of the business, because now it's accessible to the business, and it could be used to purchase equipment or payroll, retirement for the business owner. I don't know if a lot of people know that, J.C. Penney, Walt Disney, Ray Kroc, those entities were built from, or helped. They were either built or helped from life insurance policies. So it's a very powerful tool. It's a very powerful tool to utilize and to have. And not only just that, you get guaranteed death benefits. So should you pass away, then there's the financial part there. Then there's also guaranteed cash value that grows in the policy, and so it's your money is growing year over year, and then you're guaranteed for the premium not to increase. And so those are the three guarantees that I like to just paint a picture of for the business owners and families, of course, that will kind of change their mindset that this is not an expense, but it's a tool, it's an asset. And my favorite part about this is that a lot of times, in the construction space, with their system in construction, there's sometimes where, financial statements are needing to be produced for certain financial transactions. So if you're producing a financial statement on your cash balance sheet, not only will you have, asset, or your assets being your checking, your savings, you can also list that insurance, the cash value in that insurance, as a addition to what you already have. So it makes your company look a lot more stronger financially.
That's
That's my
very important. Yeah, I was gonna say that's very important right there because
favorite part.
hey, so now this is the question.
Hmm.
So that deals with COVID and insurance. So let's say
Okay.
we talk, I go through all of this as a business owner. I'm getting ready to talk to you about my policy, life insurance, for instance, and I
Yeah.
contract COVID. Now, after I do this and I come back to you, does anything change with the way I get my policy? Does it go up higher? Anything dealing with now that I've contracted the sickness?
So you're saying if you already have a policy in place?
No. If I'm coming to you and I got quoted, and then I got
Hmm.
sick,
Okay.
and then I come back and say, okay, well, I just got over COVID, blah blah blah. Does anything change from then, or since that was like not a terminal illness, now I should be okay?
Well, I would throw a party for you.
Okay, hey, you made it.
You made it. You made
Yes.
it. Um, but so, and that's not a question I can answer right now. Our underwriting, and I should have checked on this, but that's a great question, though. I don't think so, though, just because we all understand that COVID, for some, just like you said, you recovered from it.
Yes.
It is not a terminal illness. And then, two, what insurance is rated on is basically your age, your gender, your medical history, your lifestyle, your profession. So, underwriting, and I can't really speak for them, but just on this level, that all of those things are taken into consideration, and not just the fact that someone contracted COVID
Hmm.
and now that's a game changer.
Okay. Okay.
Um, right. So I
Mm.
hope that answers.
Yeah, it does. Because I was worried about that. Just wondering because some people do have the lasting effects, but some don't. And so I don't
Mhm.
know how if people are penalized for that, as they do get kind of tight on that underwriting.
Right. Now, well, let me say this because as a caveat. So now, for instance, those who are working amongst COVID patients may experience, maybe some there may be some guidelines in place for that.
Mm,
Um, so that's now. I haven't had anyone who I've written policy on who was in that space.
mhm,
So I don't know for sure.
okay. But I can see that though. If I'm a home health person, and I'm going in and out of, homes, things like that. Yeah. Okay. Makes perfect sense.
Mhm.
And
And
so,
that
uh-huh.
that would be just in general with any profession. There are people who are in professions that would be a lot more risky than others.
Hmm. Like an
You know,
educator or something.
huh?
I say like an educator.
Well, risky a risky profession could be someone who is well, I haven't had this person, someone who may, be a professional car racer, or they
Mhm.
race
Okay.
cars, or
Okay. Yes.
scuba diving.
Hmm.
Scuba diving is another.
Okay.
Uh, those are categories that that will be looked at a little bit more with the with magnifying glass, if you
Hmm.
will. So I try to just let people know if
Hmm.
that's something you do, you may want to stop
Yes. Yes.
because that's a red flag for any insurance company.
Hmm. Hmm.
If you want coverage, unless you plan to self-insure, but that's not a profession that you want to continue if you
Yes.
want to have some coverage.
Mm. And now, as we look at the pandemic and coming out of the other side, you want to hope that people are being smarter with the way that they're building their companies and all this good stuff. So, have you
Hmm.
seen a rise in people coming to you regarding policies as business owners?
Well, I have seen more of a listening ear. Yes, and just overall, statistics say, in our statistics, 7 in 10 say they need life insurance. So, and then 1/3 has said that COVID has helped them realize that they need it. So yes, we've gotten a number of calls with New York Life, people calling in. wanting to find out, how they can get coverage and so forth. And I think that, that's a great thing. I just hope that it doesn't stop, that, that people realize that it's more than just, doing it out of fear. It's just something that you set in place for your family, especially if you have someone depending on you, if you have your children, have children depending on you. We're in a society now where a lot of individuals are, I would say, that what I call the sandwich generation. That means you have, your children you're taking care of, and then you have your parents that you're taking care of, or who depend on you. And unfortunately, I did have a situation. This person wasn't my client yet, but there was a situation where I knew of a person who cared for his mom. He ended up passing away. He actually called me about insurance for his mom, and he ended up passing away. And so that was heartbreaking. Um, and so I think that, again, that we should look at the need for it, just irregardless if there was COVID or not, or any other things, but just that you're setting up, and this is where the wealth piece comes in, that you're setting up something for your family. So should or whenever you pass away, that now your children and your children's children can benefit from the reserves that would be, passed on to them, given that they will be responsible and good stewards over what's been given to them.
Powerful, powerful right there. You got it. It's all about that future,
Mm-hmm.
and changing, changing the trajectory of life. And so, thank you
Exactly.
for giving us opportunity to learn. Because as I get more in tune with the financial side, I see where they got the YouTube videos and they're saying, well, how do you use this insurance as an asset? And so for you to come on and be able to talk about that live, I think it's awesome today.
Yes, yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes.
And so if I
That's what
want,
I'm doing.
yes, and if I want to contact you to kind of get set up, then how do I do that?
Well, for those who want to reach me, my number is 281-914-8166. That's 281-914-8166. You can also, in the interim, just find me at New York Life's website, and that is www.newyorklife.com/agent single. That's agent, and then /T for Tana, and then Morehead, Morehead as in David. So yes, I welcome phone calls anytime. Well, I don't mean anytime like in,
Yeah.
but any 9 to 6. Okay.
I can say business hours. All right. Well, thank you today.
Business hours.
Thank you for spending some time, Ms. Moorhead, and just dropping some
It's
knowledge
been a
on
pleasure.
us. Yes.
It's been
Uh,
a pleasure. I really, really appreciate you having me on.
yes, yes, yes. Well, we'll make sure to get together because, like I said, we got to find those opportunities as business owners, and even as the culture, as we don't really know a lot of the financials as we should.
Yeah.
So just thank you for today.
Yes, and that's where my heart is to help us understand. A lot of times, most of us have the testimony of, seeing the insurance man come to the house, insurance man or insurance woman come to the house and collect payment, and on a policy that's maybe $10,000 or 15 or $25,000. I say to that, if that's the best you can do, then that's the best you can do. But to me, I think our lives are far more valuable than that amount. Why not set up something that is going to be a surplus in your family, for you and your family,
Mm,
and leave the legacy?
mm. That's it. We'll
Yeah.
close it on that note.
Hey,
So I appreciate it.
yay!
All right. This is KT for KTTV signing out. 100.